You know, when I made that video about DreamWorks Renaissance, which I still am very surprised how well that video did, I didn't really talk about the bad guys as much as I wanted to, because honestly, it is a really good movie, and its animation is just stunning, and I don't feel like I went in deep with the movie as much as I wanted to. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, because I feel like a lot of people have wanted me to talk about the bad guys, and here it is. This is the video we're talking about today, because that other video you guys wanted me to do, yes, I'm working on it, but it is not going to take 1 week. That is a lot of villains I gotta cover and rewatch, because a lot of those movies were from my childhood that I haven't watched in years, so you're gonna see every villain, but it's probably gonna be my longest video ever. So, I, guys, stay tuned for that, and today we're just gonna be talking about the bad guys, because honestly, after rewatching it a few times, it is really just a great movie. So let's get into it. Before we start, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. Also, thank you guys so much for 4,000 subscribers. Once again, probably past that mark, I have no idea, but anyways, wherever it's at, thank you guys so much. Now let's get into it. Now, when I first heard they were making a Bad Guys movie, I was like, okay. I'm surprised out of all the books, they picked up the bad guys, and they implemented the books really loosely, but pretty great. I remember reading the books when I was like 7, actually, but I really didn't read that much of the books. It was really just 1 or 2. I was really focused on Captain Underpants and reading Pokemon manga around that time, so it was really loosely with me in the series. And then when I heard they were making a movie, I was like, oh, okay, this could work. And the more I thought about it, I was like, how are they going to implement the designs from the book? Because I know from Captain Underpants, they really took the designs seriously and implemented them straight from the books. I mean, but if you look at the bad guys in the book, there needed to be some changes. I mean, look, this is what Miss Tarantula originally looked like. Yeah, as you can see, there needed to be changes. And they did, and the characters look a lot better. I mean, I think they went a little too overboard on certain characters like Mr. Wolf and Foxington. You know what I'm talking about. The internet has done wonders to those characters. But anyways, with that, the movie itself was great. And the more I think about it after the movie had like finished and everything, I previously said that the bad guys really didn't have anywhere else to go, and then as I was researching, there are so many books. There are so many bad guys books. So there are lots of stories the bad guys could tell, and I really do think that, yeah, this could become a franchise, and yes, I've heard there actually is a special for the bad guys in the works. So that's really exciting. I think it's coming out later this year, I'm not too sure. But I'm really excited for that, especially if it's gonna keep up with this animation, keep all the same voice actors. You know how I am with these Netflix DreamWorks shows, but if it really comes out like that, I know I'm going to love it. But the movie itself, so we started off, I feel like the characters that had the best dynamic were Mr. Wolf and Mr. Snake. The movie literally opens up with them. They had the best relationship, and it really hurt me when they had that whole falling out between each other, because it was like, you knew Mr. Snake actually trusted Mr. Wolf, and it was like, he was the one person that he trusted. Have him stab him in the back, and it was just like, dang, man, why did they do that? And with that, there were also some other fun characters that, I mean, the movie was mostly focused on Mr. Wolf and Mr. Snake. Mr. Shark, Mr. Piranha, and Mr. Tarantula were kind of just there. They were all great additions. Mr. Shark really did have me crack up sometimes. Mr. Tarantula was a good addition. And Mr. Piranha, that solo he had on that whole scene, he owned that whole scene. You know what song I'm talking about it? I cannot play it because copyright reasons, but you know what scene I'm talking about it. And if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. You're gonna know what scene I'm talking about. But with that, all the characters were all around just good. Even some of the other side characters, like the cop. There were actually some funny moments that she had, and she was actually the most expressive out of all the characters, which made the animation style pop. She had some really funny scenes, which if they do make a new Bad Guys movie, we already know there's a special. Bring her back. Bring the cop back. She was one of the better characters. And honestly, what I have to say about the villain per se, I saw it coming because, like I said, I've read some of the books, And I was just like, yeah, if I haven't read the books, I probably still would have seen it coming. Even people that haven't seen the books saw this coming. Him being the villain. It was very clearly obvious him being all good. No one's that good. And obviously, yeah, he was the villain the whole time. The whole plot revolves around the meteorite that crashed in their city, and basically they're trying to figure out harness its power and see what it really is, and Marmalade just wants to control that power for himself. And the way they climax the whole meteorite situation, when at the end of the movie where it was a whole switcheroo with the meteorite revolving around Snake and Marmalade becoming partners at first, but meanwhile, when they had that whole falling out, Mr. Snake was actually just going along with his plan just to switch the meteorite with a fake one and end his whole plan right then and there. And that scene, the look on his face, that was just badass right there. And I think everyone in my theater noticed that. Yeah, that was just amazing. And also, Foxington was a good addition to the character. Not characters, to the movie. And I do like, I saw it also coming, but the whole Crimson Paw thing, I didn't think about it at first, but then I saw, how the look she had on her face after Marmalade had really actually this time kicked the bad guys out, because there were like 3 times where the bad guys got arrested and Marmalade busted them out, but after this time they didn't bust them out. And how Mr. Wolf absolutely lost it, went beast mode in this scene. Yeah, the look on her face really suggested that, yeah, she was the Crimson Paw, or was some sort of bad guy. And yep, that was the case. And, some of the plot twists in this movie were predictable, but they still made it in a great way, like the Foxington fight scene when she introduced herself. Lord, the animation on that scene. They did not need to go hard on that just for a reveal, but they did. And the way she went out and left the whole prison was just as great. So, the animators at DreamWorks, they all need a raise after this movie and Puss in Boots. Just give them that raise. I know they've been wanting that for months now. But anyways, with that, the whole climax was pretty good. And honestly, with this movie compared to Puss in Boots, like everyone's praising it, maybe there's that one hater. But with the bad guys, it's kind of split in half with this movie. There's some people that love the movie for its animation and the story, and there's some people that said, yeah, it has good animation, but other than that, the movie just sucks. Which I disagree. I mean, everyone can have their own opinion, but the story itself, yeah, some aspects predictable, but it was still fun to watch nonetheless. Plus, I don't think any movie could be as bad as Boss Baby. But honestly, and the jokes, some people said it was about the fart jokes. And honestly, there was only really 2 fart jokes in the movie, and that was it. The rest of the jokes were just funny. And I do think that, have your opinions about the movie. I personally think, yes, the animation was amazing, and the movie itself was great. And there are sequels. There could be sequels. Nothing confirmed yet, just a special for now. But if that special does well, if it comes out, everyone go watch it. We need more bad guys. I do think that we could possibly get a sequel. This is a new original, and there's a lot of places the franchise could go, because there, like I said, lots of books they can pull from. And some people were even outraged that it wasn't nominated for the Oscar. And honestly, to put 2 DreamWorks movies in the same category would be a little suspicious, honestly. So I feel like they only put the most popular movie of the 2, Puss in Boots, in that category, even though they could have snuck the bad guys in there. But I do think it was probably because of the splitting in half between the movie. But it was still relatively great. And March 12th, when the Oscars drop and we figure out who wins that category, I already know all hell's gonna break loose if Puss in Boots doesn't win, or if Turning Red wins. Which, you know what, there is a Disney video I'm going to cover, especially about Turning Red, because it's really interesting to see how this plays out, because they've been favoring Disney for a very long time. But anyways, these are just my thoughts on the bad guys. What are yours? There are a lot of things that the bad guys movie franchise could pull from the books, and I would like to see that happen. And what do you guys else want to see from me to cover? I have lots of ideas. That villain ranked video is taking I'm working on this and that video at the same time, so that's why it's been a little slow. Still been keeping that Saturday schedule though. And you'll see that video next Saturday. Like I said, big changes coming to the channel. Thank you guys so much for wherever I'm at on Saturday. And thanks for watching. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace and love. Peace out.